Okay, so I just wanted to jump right into this today. No long intro, just me speaking. So I know that this type of content is different from what you all might expect from the channel. However, Love is Blind deals with love, and a lot of Speak Your Soul sessions talk about love. And Love is Blind is honestly one of my guilty pleasures. I don't like many reality TV shows. I think they're scripted, they come with a lot of drama, they just don't promote peace. They're very toxic, but Love is Blind is cool to me because it's a social, experiment. Of course, that obviously poses the question, is love blind? Can you focus solely on just an emotional connection? And I think not. I think not. I know that may be shocking to hear from me, like, oh, you have to have an emotional connection. There has to be depth. Looks aren't all that matter. But on this channel, I have expressed that looks do matter to an extent. Physicality definitely matters. You can have an emotional connection, but there needs to be some sort of lust there, as I believe I've said in another session, to ensure that you two or you and your partner aren't just friends. There has to be romance. There has to be lust. And you have to want to love waking up next to that person and going to sleep with that person. Your heart has to beat. I believe that looks matter to an extent. Should it overpower the person having a wonderful personality? Absolutely not. But other things matter as well, such as how does your lifestyle fit with this person? How are your families? Is there going to be any drama, family drama, that's going to keep you from being as happy as you could be with that person? Is there going to be a lot of negativity? And Love is Blind expertly shows that 1,000 times over, that just emotions don't matter. If you've looked at the past 3 seasons, you see that a lot of people don't end up getting married, or they do get married and end up being divorced later. So a lot of times the Love is Blind experiments fail, but when they work, they work. Like with Lauren and Cameron, I believe from the first season. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So let's get into these predictions. All right. So I believe that the only couples that are going to last are Tiffany and Brett and Zach and Bliss. And of course, you're probably going to wonder, well, why do you think that? Okay. Clearly, if you have eyes and if you aren't, quote, blind, right? Tiffany and Brett are the strongest couple. The physicality is there, the care, the attentiveness. It's obvious that Tiffany is the extrovert, while Brett is an introvert, maybe more of a thinker, and Tiffany is a feeler. But he's not so cold or pragmatic that he doesn't show affection. Like when they were in the honeymoon phase, he bought her a bathing suit. He knew they would be at the beach and in the water, and that is super thoughtful. And they both compliment each other a lot, show each other a bunch of love. Also, their lifestyles will mostly fit together. Tiffany upgraded in a way. She was living with a roommate, and Brett has his own place. He may spend a little too much money on some things. He may have a spending problem that they'll have to work out, but they're just wonderful. You can tell they're natural, they're easygoing. I do not fear for them. They are each other's physical types. They communicate well. You don't see them argue or fuss often. They both are around the same age. We have to also look at that too. Believe Brett is 35, Tiffany is 36. Just just perfect. Brett is the type of guy a lot of women want. He's a creative, but he makes probably decent money. He's attentive, he's caring, he's mature. He seems like a very solid person. But he also, even though I mean, look at him, okay? Look at him. Like Tiffany said, he has nice skin. But he doesn't come across as arrogant. He seems confident. We saw in the pod how vulnerable he can be, right? But he's not arrogant, and I love him for that. And I love Tiffany's positivity and warmth, and they just balance each other really, really well. Excellent couple. I have faith in Zach and Bliss. They are a wild card because Bliss may not be able to get over the fact that she had to play second fiddle, or she was second choice. Maybe that will make them not last. I also notice that their physical chemistry, I would argue to say that Bliss's love language might not be touch. I see that Zach is very touchy-feely, affectionate. But the strongest reason I say that they'll probably last is because, first of all, Bliss put herself in a space to be with someone who rejected her. So that means that she must really, really like Zach. And even though technically they didn't go through that honeymoon phase together and all of that jazz, even after being rejected, she accepted his proposal. She said, "Yes, I will marry you." So there has to be something about Zach where she feels strongly, but I think they have the same sense of humor. Their personalities fit really well. Bliss obviously is a caring person, very thoughtful. I see it working. I think maybe that there are some physicality problems with it. I'm not sure about how Bliss feels about Zach's appearance. I'm not sure, but something about him is just speaks to her, I guess. Now, my greatest hopes, I hope she didn't just accept the proposal just so she could just be on the show again, or a prolonged airtime, if you will. But she comes across as a very nice person. I really like Bliss. Bliss is the type of person you want for a friend. She seems mature, but she's also sarcastic and funny. I really love Bliss. I think that these two are going to work and last if Bliss can get over being the second choice. But Zach has done a pretty great job at reassuring her. He's just like, I don't even want that woman. I don't want her. My biggest issue with Zach is like, why did you choose Irina? I believe I'm saying her name properly. Most people could see that Irina was just a mean and nasty and vindictive person, just immature. And as Bliss said, it's like, hey, if you choose her, I question your judgment, because none of the girls in the house really messed with her, except for, I will remember her name later in the episode. You know, the blonde girl, Micah, yes. And even she did Micah dirty. But yes, I think they have a strong chance of lasting. Okay, next up, my thoughts on Kwame and Chelsea. I have to take a deep sigh. Kwame. I can't stand Kwame. Kwame is a liar. Kwame is emotionally manipulative. Kwame is not excellent at communication. I don't think Kwame would be good for anybody. Yes, even Micah. Yes. I think that Kwame and Micah have clearly a physical attraction for each other. There is an emotional connection. I think they care for each other. But Kwame doesn't even seem secure in himself. He just seems like he's not ready to settle down or compromise for anyone. Now, in Kwame's defense, it's hard to defend this man. It's hard. Chelsea is asking him to make a lot of life changes. I don't think she's considering his feelings 100%. But Kwame is just immature. I think that Chelsea shouldn't have given him a chance. I think it's clear that Chelsea is into him way more than he's into her. I just don't like Kwame at all. I just, not going to say much more on that. He's just a terrible person for the entire show, for anybody. But, as reality TV shows go, you have to add in those people like a Kwame or Irina or whatever that are going to add a little drama. I'm sure that if the producers of the show or the casting agents or whatever did some digging, they could probably tell or gauge that this man wasn't serious about love. Or even if he was serious about love, it's just horrible, the interactions he had with Micah. Like, you chose your person. You should respect her, honor her, and cherish her. But anyway, I'll leave it at that. Kwame, thumbs down on him as a person. So now let's dissect Marshall and Jackie. Where to begin with this one? Jackie, first of all the women on the show, well, I'm not going to say who I don't think is gorgeous just because of a certain personality traits and things. We're not going to get into that, but you can assume who I'm talking about. But the women on the show, gorgeous, hands down. Really, really beautiful women. Jackie is stunning. Okay. But I think that Jackie is very emotionally immature. She's used to toxic relationships. She's not used to maybe nerdier guys or more of a gentleman. And she even said it herself. She's used to guys who are ball players with tattoos and all of that stuff, right? But when you're looking for your spouse, I would like to think everyone should want to go for someone who's stable, kind, reassuring, which Marshall really is. I do not like how Marshall put a jacket on Jackie when they all met up on episode 8. He was trying to cover her up, make her more conservative. I really didn't like that. But his feelings of anger when she's telling him in different ways that he's not enough, I understand that anger. Now, he could have tried to step it up and do different things, but at the end of the day, Marshall is who he is. He's not an overly aggressive guy. He can be assertive in some ways. He really can. We've seen that, in his interactions with Josh. We see it in how he handles Jackie sometimes, because being assertive is fine. Being aggressive is not. And once again, I think that Jackie is just used to toxic men. We also have to look at their ages. They are both 26. Dating in your 20s is a different experience than dating in your 30s. If you're in your 30s, 40s, even 50s, maybe, if you love the show, listening to this, you know what I mean. In your 20s, sometimes you don't know who you are and what you really want. And dating is a roller coaster. It's an experiment of sorts. And So, but that doesn't mean you can find love at 22, you can find love at 52. Age doesn't determine when you can or should find love. But Jackie is really emotionally unstable. I think that Marshall is more cool, calm, collected, more of a nerdier guy. I think that his calmer demeanor will put him on a lot of highs and lows, the ebb and flow of love with Jackie. I think that they are not good for each other. That's why I just don't think that they are going to last. And finally, Paul and Micah. Absolutely not. They are not going to last. They are complete opposites, but not in the way where the opposite personality traits or whatever complement each other. I'm sorry. When Michael was like, Paul is dating his mother, I just died laughing. And it makes me wonder how well Paul and his mom really get along. I mean, she seems to really love her son. They seem to have a strong bond, but Paul and Micah just, they're not gonna work. Micah seems to be, and these people have expressed this on the show, so I'm only using their words, not me projecting anything, but Micah is a woman who cares about her hair and makeup. She's a very beautiful woman who likes to dress well, and she seems to want, her house a certain way, to be neat, to be organized. Yeah, while Paul is just dorkier and he doesn't have a sense of style. And while I cannot stand how one of Micah's best friends handle Paul, like, even if you don't like a person or think they're the right fit for a person, you still have to be nice and cordial. She was just very off-putting, but she knew, she's looking like, I know my best friend, this is not the best guy for you. She knew that. Her body language, and I would argue to say everyone there might have been a little intoxicated, so that only adds fuel to the fire. But I think that they are polar opposites in ways that just won't complement each other. I think also he's not making enough compromises for her on where they should live. And at the meeting with her parents that they had, she just gave in. She's like, I'm just going to move into his space. I just don't, I don't see them together. I just see Micah as this Barbie who just needs her Ken doll. And I understand that sometimes you're like, all right, I want to try something different because what I've done in the past has not been working for me. I'm going to try someone who's not my type, maybe to get a different experience and find the things that I've been missing. I understand that for sure. But these two are polar opposites, sorry. I think their lifestyles would never match whatsoever. I think that at best they could be really great friends. I don't hate how their communication goes 1,000% or how their personalities merge, but I do think that Paul would be better with someone who's more down to earth, hippie, like he mentioned. I believe he mentioned that. Or was that Zach? I don't know. Zach and Paul seem like the same person to me sometimes. I'm sorry. Although I would argue that Zach is a little more cringier sometimes. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end things on that note. But I think that the show is absolutely entertaining. So at the time of this recording, episode 8 has been out. Episodes 9 through 12 need to be released on Netflix. They need to air. So after episode 12, I will make a video on if my predictions were correct. We all could be pleasantly surprised. You never know human nature. You never know how things are going to go. But I hope that you've enjoyed watching the show as much as I do. I hope that you've enjoyed this little break from the typical content I produce. Maybe when it makes sense, I'll often, talk about love from maybe a media perspective every now and then. But yeah, this is Slept On Shay, and signing off from Speak Your Soul Sessions. Oh, wait. Remember, let me slow down. Remember to like, subscribe, and share this video. Share videos from this page overall. The only way that the channel can grow and the only way that we can get the conversations rolling is if you share, subscribe, like, comment, and do all of that good stuff for me. All right. Have a wonderful day, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you may be in the world.